greatest fights of all time, in every fight that's ever happened. But you look at those two separately, and you know, it wasn't their night tonight, and it wasn't an exciting fight.
Yeah, I thought I would win against Anthony, but here I am with a broken jaw, learning the hard way. I'll heal.
Because what just happened, what you just saw was, yes, Jake Paul finding out there's levels to this game. Yes, Anthony Joshua not having the greatest performance of all time, but him doing exactly what he had to do, what he needed to do for boxing, what he needed to do for himself.
The internet erupted the moment Jake Paul hit the canvas in his long-rumored clash with Anthony Joshua, and attention immediately shifted to Dana White. The UFC president, long critical of Paul's boxing credentials, didn't need to say much. A knowing smirk and blunt remarks spoke volumes as elite heavyweight power cut through YouTube hype, turning Paul's bravado into a harsh lesson witnessed by millions.
Chopping that calf kick, you know, the whole first round. He couldn't have had a better first round, and then he got caught.
Do you feel it's one of those things where, like, he got caught, or is it one of those things where Hangman age might be catching up to him, he might be slowing down? Which one do you think it could be?
Listen, getting caught is getting caught.
Since Anthony Joshua stopped Jake Paul in the 6th round of their heavyweight clash, the combat sports world hasn't gone quiet. Paul was hospitalized with a broken jaw and multiple fractures, later undergoing surgery that included titanium plates and dental work, underscoring the brutal cost of the matchup.
Standing in that ring thinking, for my own credibility, I've got to knock you out, but I've got to try and knock you out where I'm not hurting you as much as what I could if I unleashed. Yeah. And with the punch you said that he landed, it's not his best punch, his most powerful punch, right? Yep. And he's shattered his jaw in 2 places, right? So Anthony Joshua gets his 70 million, whatever it is. But I think he's sitting there thinking, thank God for that. Thank God. On a human level, I've come out, all right, I've sort of, not reputation, but I haven't hurt him as bad as what I could have.
There should be an awful amount of people breathing a massive sigh of relief. Anybody that put that fight together, athletic commissions, like you said.
It wasn't a fight.
No, it wasn't at all. Like you said, it was a prize fight. It was an event. If Anthony damages him, he's got to live with that for the rest of his life.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of stress to deal with, you know what I mean? So I'm sure he's bleeding in the side of relief. The team that have put him in there, that have negotiated that for him, but the authorities that put that on and commissioned it as a proper boxing match, I've no doubt.
Does that go on his... Because
yeah, it's a professional boxing
Do you know what? If I was Anthony Joshua, I would be saying, I don't want that on my record. But for the credibility of them putting the fight on, they would have said to him, no. We've got to say this, it's been commissioned, it's going to be a proper fight. And I found it, I love my boxing, but I just find the whole thing really, really unedifying. You said about get followers, you mentioned Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury is nowhere near his level of getting like a British title fight or whatever. Nowhere near. So it's basically he's like...
Beat Jake Paul.
Well, beat Jake Paul. But see,
but what I'm saying is that 100. I stand by that, and I think Tommy would admit that. You know what I mean? To become a British champion is a very prestigious thing to do, and I think he would struggle to do that.
But I think when I was reading, he got 5.6 or £6 million.
Scans and x-rays later confirmed that Jake Paul suffered a severe double fracture of the jaw, broken in 2 separate places. Despite the damage, Paul drove himself to the hospital after the fight, where doctors confirmed the diagnosis. Recovery was expected to take between 4 and 6 weeks. Paul shared images of the scans on social media, confirming the fractures and thanking fans for their support during his recovery. UFC President Dana White, who had long criticized the matchup as a bad idea, viewed the result as validation of his stance, openly suggesting Paul was outmatched against a former heavyweight champion. White even joked that much of the fight's appeal came from fans waiting to see Paul finally get stopped.
Oh, Jesus. That's a fucking bad idea. That's a bad idea. But let me tell you what. A lot of people will watch that one.
Will you watch it?
Sure. You know what everybody's tuning in for on that one. I think everybody's going to get what they've finally been waiting for.
Analysts have described the entire build-up and aftermath as a Tom and Jerry spectacle, saying the result felt inevitable from the moment the fight was announced. Insiders noted that Jake Paul played the loud, cartoonish provocateur for months, while Anthony Joshua remained calm and calculated. Once the bell rang, the theatrics ended. Joshua's power, timing, and ring IQ overwhelmed Paul, producing a knockout that shocked casual fans but not seasoned observers.
Oh man, great performance by Jake, brother.
Come on, bro. He's a fucking legend for that. He has such big balls getting in the ring with that guy, dude. Josh was a monster. He stayed in it the whole time, and I'm really proud of Jake, dude. All my respect to him, bro. Whatever outcome. I mean, dude, he went 6.5 rounds with Anthony Joshua, one of the best in the world. So I got nothing but respect.
And got up like 2 times.
No, it was sick.
Talk about that. I mean, there's been other heavyweights that have felt that right hand who haven't got up.
Nagano, so many people, bro. The overhand right. Jake's got a tough chin, dude. I think he does whatever he wants after this. He just has such big balls, dude. He had to keep moving. That was the only strategy. People are gonna say he ran around the ring. They don't know. They don't understand fucking boxing.
He showed a ton of heart, right?
Ton of heart.
What's next for Jake Paul?
Like I said, whatever he wants. Whatever he wants.
Legendary trainer Teddy Atlas surprised boxing fans by outlining a possible, though unlikely, path for Jake Paul to upset Anthony Joshua. Atlas emphasized that styles make fights, suggesting Paul could use his younger age, quicker feet, and constant movement to frustrate Joshua, especially if AJ's timing is off after a long layoff. He said Paul's best chance would be using lateral movement, avoiding exchanges, and landing a surprise right hand when Joshua overcommits. Atlas added that stealing rounds through evasive tactics and disrupting Joshua's rhythm could give Paul a slim chance in an 8-round fight.
I do want to talk about news that broke out, and it's someone that you've always shown respect to, and I've asked you these questions before about Jake Paul. We had a surprise announcement just the other day about him and Anthony Joshua. What was your reaction when you saw that announcement? It shocked a lot of people in boxing. What did you make of that? Or what do you make?
Jake hasn't made too many mistakes so far, so it got my attention. It got Teddy's attention. He's been growing. He's been growing in the ring. He's been growing outside the ring. He's been growing in confidence. I think that in the Canelo situation, that didn't happen. He was ready to do that. I think if anything else, if nothing else, he's showing you that he truly is believing in himself. And that, he's been a work in progress. He still is. And he's showing you, he's putting his money where his mouth is. Everyone's calling for him to do this, to do that. And, he's always had the advantage with guys that weren't real fighters. They were fighters. They were older fighters. They were MMA fighters. They were this. They were that. They were smaller. They were older. Now he's taking a guy that's bigger, older, but bigger. A real, can't debate if he's a fighter. 2-time heavyweight champ. Coming off, but he's a smart son of a gun. He's a gutsy son of a... I always stood up for him because everyone was saying he was hurting the sport. He wasn't hurting the sport. In some ways, he was bringing interest in a different way to the sport. But he built something.
The bout, officially promoted as Judgment Day, was scheduled for 8 3-minute rounds in the heavyweight division, with Anthony Joshua entering as a clear favorite due to his experience, 6'6" height, and size advantage over Jake Paul, who weighed 216 pounds compared to Joshua's 243. After cautious early rounds, Joshua took control, dropping Paul multiple times in the 5th before sealing the fight with a devastating right hand at 1:31 of the 6th, forcing a stoppage.